This is Literature for 247, a free online literature class where literature is discussed every hour. This video is about an African novel titled So the Path Does Not Die, written by Pede Hollist. Earlier on this platform, we discussed the plot summary, the prologue, as well as chapters 1 to 22 of this novel. So if you need the link to the previous videos on this novel, just make your request to the comment section and it will be sent to you. You are welcome to the classroom. In the last chapter, chapter 22, Fina narrates to Kami how Kizzy raped her when she was in Sierra Leone. We also talk about the kidney transplant from Kami to Gibson, his son. Kami also talk about the accident he has sometimes that Scrap now want to use it to blackmail him now. Also, towards the end of the chapter, Fina has gone back to Sierra Leone. So, let's see what happens in chapter 23. Fina is now in Freetown, where she grew up. She goes about in the compound, greeting and giving money to the old men and women. Fina is introduced by the old people to the young boy and girl, who follow her as she goes to the people. She sees Mami Nossi, who is old and emaciated, in the kitchen. The boy and the girl are surprised by the generosity of Fina to the ordinary people. She bids them goodbye and heads for Talaba through Falaba. She can't see anything in their compound but charred pieces of timber and metal, cooking pots and pans, torn and blood-stained clothes. She also sees destroyed rice farms, overturned trucks, and some other machines of war. This scenario builds a picture of war scenes in Fina's mind. She feels that there's no more Talaba, but decides to look for Baramusu, her grandma. She heads to the Waterloo Transit and Refugee Camp to look for Baramusu. The place is 20 miles from Freetown. She doesn't mind the ordeals she faces on the way as a result of traffic congestion, potholes and checkpoints on the road. She takes it a responsibility to look for her, as the woman is very important to her, despite her pregnancy. Remember that Fina is pregnant. Fina is surprised when the driver tells her that they are at the camp. She pays the driver and alights from the vehicle. She walks herself to the people. She looks ahead and sees different structures like tents, wood, and cement houses. A man directs her to the registration center where the UN flag is hosted. She meets different kinds of people on her way to the registration center, but keeps her eyes on the UN flag. 20 minutes later, Fina is in the office. While waiting for somebody to attend to her, she sees old men, women, and children with different stages of destitution. A woman who blocks the office door later tells Fina they are at lunch. She doesn't like the approach of the woman and her posture. Her overdressing isn't commensurate with the people and the job she does. Fina says she has come to find her grandmother and the people of her village. A man tells her that they can help her, but she'll come back at 2 o'clock. The man gives her a chair to sit on. The woman attends to Fina a little after 2 o'clock. She takes down the information about Baramusu, including her name, age, and the name of the village. Fina, however, cannot provide the name of the village Baramusu was last seen. She says she saw her over 15 years ago. The woman explains to her that it's going to be difficult to find Fina's grandmother. She says many people are displaced, many died, and there are many camps around. Fina asks the woman to give her the names of the camps. The woman checks her file and tells Fina that she doesn't have the list with her. She directs her to another center for the list. A white woman named Svetlana Notrom also tells Fina that it won't be easy to find her grandmother. She is the director of a non-governmental organization known as Family Reunited. The voice of Svetlana encouraged Fina, and she turns her attention to her and introduces herself. The former is traveling to Freetown for a meeting, so she offers Fina a ride. While in the vehicle, Fina narrates her life history to her. Svetlana then promises to assist her find her grandmother. She tells her to prepare her mind because in the end, they might find out that the person is dead or has disappeared. Fina is optimistic about reuniting with Baramusu. Fina gives birth to a daughter 5 months later. Isa and her family are also back in Freetown from Guinea. You remember Isa and her husband and the children, they were living in Guinea. So they have also come back to Freetown. So they are now living together. They are all living together in a rented apartment on Freetown Circular Road to save costs. Fina works as a part-time teacher in a nursery school. Fina receives a note from Svetlana 2 days before her daughter's naming ceremony. The note reads that she finds an old woman with an adolescent girl in the bush north of Kono. She's blind, calls Mama and says little. That is, the woman is called Mama. The girl with her says they are not related and that the old woman does talk about her long-lost daughter. She tells Fina to meet them on Saturday morning at the center as the woman will arrive in Freetown on Friday evening. Fina is happy that at last she will reunite with her grandmother. This will allow her to right all the wrongs of the past about the disruption of her circumcision process. She believes it has been the cause of her problem. Remember, since then, Fina has been running from one problem to another. So she believed that the disruption to her circumcision process is the cause. Fina asks Isa and her children to accompany her to the center. They see the old woman, later known as Mama Yegbe, and the adolescent girl named Mawab sitting on a wooden bench at the center. The woman is emaciated, so Fina cannot say whether she's Baramusu. Fina tries to introduce herself as Finaba, the daughter of Amadou and Nabu. Remember, that's the name of the parents of Fina. The old woman stretches her hands and Fina grabs it. The woman touches Fina's lips, nose, eyes, and forehead. By the time the woman touches the back of her head, she discovers that Fina is not her daughter. Her daughter is Finda and not Fina. The adolescent girl stands to protect the whole woman and gives blows to Fina. Svetlana intervenes and separates them. She then directs Fina and her family to the direction of her residence within the center compound. Svetlana later explains to Fina that the old woman's daughter is Finda and not Fina, and she has a big scar on the back of her head. The woman reacted when she discovered that Fina was not her daughter. The old woman and the adolescent girl later come over, apologizing and breaking down weeping. They have come to apologize to Fina. Fina embraces her, also breaks down weeping, and the woman consoles her. The old woman introduces herself as Mama Yebe and the adolescent girl as Mawab. Svetlana asks them to stay back in the house to carry out a proper introduction while she goes back to the office. She says she will join them for lunch later. Fina suggests that the baby's naming should be done immediately. She says Mama Yebe will coordinate the ceremony. Fina asks that they only need kola nuts, palm oil, and salt for the naming. Svetlana promised to arrange for the entertainment. Isa also says she will buy the things needed for the naming. Fina settles down with Mama Yebe on the settee and beckons to Mawab to join them. The latter ignores her and stares at the baby. Fina tells her to carry the baby, but she doesn't respond until Fina picks up the baby and hands her to Mawab. Fina and Mama Yebe exchange the stories of their travels while Mawab plays with the baby. She explains to Fina how she was caught up by the rebels and how she came to be with Mawab. She narrates that she stayed with her husband named Fama, who said he was too old to run from the village. The rebels came one morning and threatened to kill everybody. Her husband remained adamant not to leave the village and prepared to fight the rebels with his cutlass. The rebel little boys and girls then shot and killed him. Mama Igbe says that what she saw last as she's blind. Mama Igbe says that's what she saw last as she's blind. That's the sense she saw last. She removes her sunglasses and shows her eyes to Fina. She points to my wife, who found her and took care of her. Fina tries to ask my wife if she knows the person who blinded Mama Igbe, where she found her and whether they are related. My wife doesn't respond to the questions, but concentrates on the baby in her hands. Fina then changes her approach and appreciates my wife for the kind gesture. She then prays that her grandmother also should meet somebody like my wife. After lunch, they assemble in the parlor for the naming ceremony. All the materials needed are set on a stool. Mama Igbe collects the baby from my wife and explains the importance of a name. She says they don't just give names to children, because to name is to be given destiny. She prays for the child and the family. The baby girl is then named Dimusu Celeste. Remember, that's the resolution of Fina and Kami when they were deciding on the name of their child, the unborn baby. And Dimusu is the name of Fina's sister, while Celeste is chosen from Fina's mother's name. Mama Igbe dips her finger in the salt and palm oil one after the other. She presses the finger on the baby's lips. Mama takes Mama Igbe to bed for her siesta. When she comes back, she discovers that Celeste is not on the bassinet. Fina tries to explain to her that Isa has taken her to the bedroom and tells her to join them there. My wife just pouts, folds her arms, and sits on the chair. She afterward walks out of the house when Fina insists that she should join them in the bedroom. Fina follows her and sits beside a small brook. She asks her why she didn't talk to her. After some minutes, my wife breaks the silence and says that the Celeste looks like a child. Fina asks my wife to tell her about the child. She explains that the child was small and did not live long because she didn't have milk in her breast to feed her. She says her sister's boyfriend called Captain told her that the child died when she was sleeping. He then buried before she woke up so that she would not be crying. But one of the soldiers told her that the captain took the baby to the bush and killed it. In response to Fina's question, she says that Captain was a government soldier who with his men fought the rebels. Captain told them one day that the rebels would attack their village. Some believed and left, while some stayed back. The rebel came 2 nights later, shot and set the village on fire. People were screaming and her sister dragged her through the bush. When they stopped running, Captain and his men surrounded them, looking wild. Captain slapped her and shouted at her to shut up, that she should not let the rebels know where they were. She says they afterward went to Kuno to find diamonds. Captain told them that the rebels, the Lebanese and the Nigerian soldiers were stealing their diamonds, while the Sierra Leoneans were poor. He then ordered that they should kill anyone who tried to stop them. She narrates further that they slept anywhere, including bushes. They sometimes took over villages and turned the inhabitants into their slaves. She says she enjoyed living in a cement house. The people cooked for them and she sat back watching videos in her own room. That is, she's given a separate room where she just sits back watching videos where the owners of the house will be cooking for them. She continues that a man, who was later discovered to be Captain, her sister's boyfriend, came to her room to rape her. She screamed and her sister came in with a gun, pointed at the man, who then identified himself as Captain. Her sister slapped him and it resulted in a fight. Captain dragged her sister to his room and beat her mercilessly. He then came back the following night and told her that her sister was very sick. He would only allow her to go and rub her with ori and mentholatum if she allowed him to have sexual relations with her. She says she allowed him for the sake of her sister and she didn't feel anything. That is, she allowed Captain to have fun with her, to have sexual relationship with her because of her sister. Captain then told her that if her sister didn't recover from the malaria she had, they would leave her behind because they had to go to Kuno to dig for diamonds when the rain stopped. Moab says the swelling on her sister's head didn't go down, and she begged the women they lived in her house for help. Captain was still coming to her every night to rape her. He told her that he liked coming to her because her vagina was tight. He threatened to give her to his soldiers if her vagina was not tighter. She says she started vomiting one day, and the woman who owns the house told her that she was pregnant. She told Captain about it, and she slapped her and spat at her. Captain continued to come to her until her stomach was showing. Captain one day told her that she would never see her sister again. She thought her sister was still in his room, until one day she begged the guard to let her see her sister. The guard agreed, but he would have a sexual relationship with her. She allowed him, only to discover that her sister was no more in the room. She said she was annoyed and cried while the guard laughed. She reported to Captain when he came back, and he told her to call everyone out. Captain asked them if anyone touched my wife, and some responded no. He then went into his room and came back with a pistol and bottles of beer. Captain forced 3 bottles of beer into my wife's mouth and put drugs in her nose to inhale. My wife started feeling the effects of the beers and the drugs in her body. She was seeing strange objects in different colors. She resulted in uncontrollable laughter. Captain then gave her the gun that looked bigger to her to shoot the person who had a sexual relationship with her. My wife didn't hesitate to shoot the guard dead. That's how the adolescent girl was named my wife. Captain spoke in Cockney and said, "That's my wife." Instead of saying, "That is my wife," he was saying, "That's my wife." He referred to the girl as his wife and threatened anybody who tried to take her from him. She says she doesn't remember her real name and doesn't want it again. When Fina asked her, Captain then ordered them to get water from the battery and kerosene that my wife had a mission to complete her initiation into the group. They split into different groups, and Captain made old sounds and waiting to hear from the other groups. He lit a pipe and sucked and gave it to my wife also to suck until they felt strong and powerful. Captain told her to take her gun and follow him when they hear the final whole signal. They entered a village, set it ablaze, and shot anything on sight. After everything was completely burned, Mama Igbe's husband came out with a cutlass to fight and was shot dead by Captain. They then saw an old woman after the man was killed. That is Mama Igbe, the old woman with my wife. Captain asked the woman if she wanted to die like the man and whether she saw how he died. Mama Igbe answered in affirmative, and Captain commanded them to bring the battery water and ordered my wife to wash the woman's face with it. Mama Igbe and my wife felt the pains of the water. The water burns her hands and finishes the scaly skin on my wife's palms and fingers. The woman ran and rolled on the ground. Captain told my wife to leave her as she tried to help her. She then revealed to Fina that the old woman is Mama Igbe when she asked her whether they left the woman dead. Fina later narrated my wife's story to Svetlana, and the latter comments that many of the girls were forced to live as wives. She says my wife lived in the bush where they were threatened, brainwashed, and beaten. She adds that that's just the periphery of the effect of the war on the kids. She tells Fina to talk to her to know what to do to bring her and others back to normal life. Fina then arranges to meet Mama Igbe and my wife as Lana's residents every weekend. Fina will arrive on Friday evenings and talk late into the night. On Saturdays, Fina and my wife take part in team building activities with the centers of fan residents. Mama Igbe watches them from the shade of a tree. On Sunday morning, Fina departs Freetown, while Mama Igbe and my wife return to their refugee camp. Fina's visits have some effect on my wife. She is no more aggressive, but still inactive. She is only active when she is with Mama Igbe and Demosu Celeste. Fina and Svetlana see hope in her rehabilitation. My wife always waits on the veranda on Friday evenings for Fina's arrival. She will run to the car. peeping through the window for the Musu Celeste. Fina does not bring the Musu Celeste 2 months into the visit. Moav's countenance changes, and Fina explains she will bring her the following week. Moav just goes straight into the room, and the next morning leaves the house without eating. She's just reacting to the way she denied the Musu Celeste, because the Musu Celeste is not seen in the car. That's why she's behaving like that. Fina looks for her and finds her sitting by the brook at the back of the yard. She raises her spirit when she asks her questions about the delivery of her baby. Moab says Mama Igbe told her the leaves to eat. Moab says Mama Igbe told her the leaves to eat and rub on so that she will not feel pain during delivery. She then narrates how she and Mama Igbe traveled with Captain and his men to Kuno. There were many groups of rebels and soldiers after the diamond mining, and one was ready to kill the other. No group trusted the other. They live in the bush where they hear gunfire, the groans and screams of dying men and women. Captain and his men go out every morning to figure out how to establish the mining process. A soldier was stationed with my wife and Mama Igbe to guard them and help them cook. They will come in the evening to eat and go back the next day. One morning like that, they left and never came back. The soldier left to guard my wife, and Mama Igbe also disappeared one night. He feared that his colleague might have been killed or captured and also ran away. That's how he also ran away. My wife and Mama Igbe then walked about in the bush until they were found by the Ekemog, a West African peacekeeping force. Late that afternoon, Fina doesn't participate in the team building activities but sits beside Mama Igbe in the shade. She watches my wife actively participate in the activities. My wife afterwards joined Fina under the tree. So Mama Igbe and my wife are found in the bush by the Ekemog. So from there they were taken to the refugee camp. Fina wishes to know more about my wife's interest. She asks her if she likes playing with other kids or likes to live there or loves to go to school. She answers in the negative and says she would like to go to the bush and fight Captain. Why? Let's see. She says he cared for her, that is, Captain cared for her. She gave command to Captain's men and didn't go to school. She heard that they always tell her what to do here, She's trying to tell us that she's in command there, that she gives orders to Captain's men there. But here, they give orders to her, telling her what to do. My wife walks away from Fina and a voice tells her that she must help my wife. She later tells Svetlana that she wants Mama Igbe and my wife to live with her. Svetlana seeks more explanation from Fina on how she wants to do it, especially if she finds her grandmother eventually. Fina says she doesn't think she will find Baramuso again, and if she finds her, they will live together. Svetlana tries to give Fina an idea. She suggests starting with the weekend visit with my wife to Fina in free time. This will create an avenue to know more about one another. That is, Svetlana will bring them to meet Fina in free time. Svetlana then informs Fina of her deputy director who is leaving at the end of the month. She asks if she's interested in taking over a job. She explains the other benefits of the job, like the apartment at the back of her building. Fina agrees to take the job to fulfill her dreams. It will also save Fina from the strained relationship with Issa and Hassan. Fina is already fed up living together with her sister and her husband. So that is chapter 23 of So the Path Does Not Die. Please, I want to inform you that all the chapters are connected. This is what I mean. At the end of the first chapter, the second chapter pops up. At the end of the second chapter, the third chapter pops up. So they are all connected. So also, if you are new on this platform, try and click on the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you'll be part of this class. And whenever we release any video, you are going to be notified. Like this video. You are free to share it on any social media platform. Invite your friends and colleagues to join us. If you have any question or comment, send it to the comment section and it will be attended to. Thank you and God bless. Let's meet in the next class.